This is a great shot of us all. I think it was Erica's birthday. By that time, we had probably already finished at least 2 bottles, because on the face Analyze had that stupid, smug grin. Kara isn't much better either, laughing like crazy about something on the other end of the table while Val pokes her in the ribs. It's a great shot of the 5 of us, and I remember it was taken by the hot guy who was putting away the glasses, caught on Erica's orders. Erica has always been like this, and thanks to her model looks, she rarely encounters resistance. In fact, her whole life seems frictionless. She moves effortlessly from one thing to another in her light summer dresses, with her perfect blonde curls and long eyelashes. Her husband is a builder by trade, burly, with rough hands and a great smile, always wearing jeans and a t-shirt that has seen better days, with sandy hair so disheveled you want to straighten it. Erica keeps running her hand through his hair. Kara is dark-haired, busty, half a head shorter than Erica, but still taller than the rest of us. She's a fitness trainer, and her flat, toned stomach bears no sign of 3 kids. Her husband is the same. He is a manager at a gym. Kara constantly talks about how they run together. Considering that they are in their early 30s, have 3 children, and a lot of energy, I would say that they are active in other exercises too. Val always knew how to hold on to a glass. She's a heavy-set woman with a short brown haircut to keep her hair out of her face, because she always has a lot to do, and it's definitely not fiddling with her hair every 30 seconds. She is a born shepherd, taught to her by 2 boys who never sat still while their useless father did nothing but watch them. I wouldn't put up with that, but Val dealt with it. She is a natural force that extends her influence to our children when we are at the park or the beach. Kara doesn't mind Val taking the lead. I think this is a kind of vacation for her. Analyze is a light, slender, recently divorced blonde, but don't be fooled. The rug doesn't match the curtains. I know because we go swimming together after we drop the kids off at school, and I've seen her in all her glory. This sounds rude of me. Perhaps I should apologize. The second one from the left, looking straight into the lens, is where my eyes are drawn when I look at this photo of us all. Neither fat nor thin, us tall, not short, with a glass almost raised to her lips. Here she is me, frozen forever in this moment in my summer dress, with brown hair pulled back into a butterfly clip, the only one who notices that we are under surveillance, while the others laugh. A husband with a high-paying job at the same insurance company that I left to raise 2 children, sacrificing my career for motherhood, sitting there in bare feet and strappy sandals. It's me. I'm Polly. We are having dinner at a local restaurant. There are 4 of us. I'm wearing a little black dress, sitting across from Erica's husband, Harrison. Erica is next to me, opposite my husband, Mark. Mark came straight from work in a suit and tie, his dark hair neatly styled, smiling at something Erica said. She, too, is wearing a dress, dark blue, contrasting with her pale skin. Her hair is done in a French bun. Small spinning wheels frame her beautiful face, her Merlot lips. Erica laughs, so I laugh too, but I notice Harrison's gaze, sitting in his shirt and pants, looking uncomfortable. We are discussing the upcoming elections, who will win, who should be voted for, and I see that this is not his field of expertise. He looks across the table at me, and I smile at him sympathetically. Mark talks about his job, trying to belittle it, calling insurance too boring to discuss over dinner. In principle, I agree. I know Mark is putting himself down. I know he was recently promoted. He mentions it almost casually, and Harrison reaches for his beer. The restaurant is new and quite expensive, above the standard they would have chosen themselves, but I booked it anyway. I don't want to sit in jeans and eat burgers. The main course arrives, and I nudge Mark to order more drinks. We have a nanny, which means we must make the most of this opportunity. I top up Erica's glass and then my husband's, smiling as they chat. Harrison drains his glass, and I nod at him. Do you want to continue with the same thing, or switch to wine? I ask. Yeah, I think wine would be fine. Red for steak, or white? I picked up both bottles. Red, he says. I pour him some wine, then place the glass in front of him with a small smile. He nods gratefully. Erica seems uninterested. She talks about herself again. By the way, I interrupt, What do you think about giving kids phones? Erica blinks, confused. It doesn't matter. I have more interesting topics to talk about. In what sense? She asks. At what age would this be appropriate? We're just getting to that point. When they don't drop them, Mark replies, they're expensive. I shrug, saying, I think we'll have to wait until the last minute. I know Val has a phone number for her oldest, but I'm worried about all the pressure on them with social media these days. Are you afraid they'll share too much? Erica asks. Yes. Moreover, I'm afraid that they will do something stupid and it will remain forever. Like bad haircuts, questionable outfits. That too. I mean, imagine if we had phones. All our friends would have had phones when we were their age. Imagine being a teenager when everyone has a lens in their pocket to capture your awkward moments forever. I smile at everyone, as if pleased with myself for voicing the thought, and take a sip of my drink. I guess, Mark replies, though I don't think I had anything worth photographing at that age. Why, dear? Were you bored? Mark tenses slightly, but smiles back at me, answering, I was careful. I wasn't looking for trouble, if that's what you mean. So you'd have endless pictures of yourself doing your homework, I'm praying. And sports, I was a good kid. And smart too, top of the class, right? I guess. I smiled at my husband, replying, come on, you were a great nerd. Best in math, best in physics, always working. Out of the corner of my eye, I notice Harrison fidgeting in his seat. Erica, what about you? I ask, turning my attention to her. Oh God, no. I'd be terrified if only there were photographs of everything from that time, she exclaims. I see she's a little tipsy, waving her glass around as she talks. I choose my moment with extreme care. So if we found you online, what would we see? I ask casually. Erica thinks for a second, then smiles sweetly. I notice the confusion and know I'm on target. We'll see, I say, taking my phone out of my purse. Polly, no God, what are you doing? There's something on the internet about all of us. What do you think there will be about you? Erica laughs, sipping her wine, but her eyes follow my fingers as I type her name into the search bar, adding a few details. The screen updates with the results. What happened there? She asks flirtatiously. I pretend to scroll the page. School fair, it was last year. Wow, you ran at the classic. Yes, my result is listed there. It was 5 years ago, if not more. What is this? Oh. I stop, my finger hovering over the recording. I feel Erica tense up. What? Asks Mark. I look up at Erica and smile. Harrison leans forward too. Erica's expression changes. It's definitely not you, right? I ask, touching the screen. An image appears on the screen of a young blonde woman in lingerie, wrapped around a chair in a seductive pose. I put the phone on the table so she can see. It is also visible to our husbands. Erica quickly picks up the phone, frowning. I see it on her face, her cheeks turn slightly red, and then her beautiful blue eyes meet mine. It's been a long time, Polly. I take the phone from her hand, looking through the rest of the images. I casually hand it to Mark. You look great, I reply. I wish I had a body like that back then. Erica looks at me, elbows on the table, glass at her soft, red lips. Her smile widens. I'm a little jealous, I admit. Erica's smile widens, and she seems to relax a little. It was a long time ago. I worked a little as a model. I don't know how these photos ended up online. Maybe you have a secret fan base. I turn my attention to my husband, extending my hand. Have you seen enough, dear? Can I have the phone back? I ask. Mark hands me the phone back, and I place it face down on the table. Her photographs are still visible on the screen. I look at Harrison. No lingerie photos? I ask him. No, you can be calm here. Did you know about these photographs? Yes. I nod, looking away, replying, sorry, I didn't think I'd find anything. It was awkward. Don't worry, Erica tells me, it's all in the past. After dinner, we went home. I fall behind while Mark and Erica talk, walking next to Harrison. Sorry, I told him. For what? What confused you? I didn't know I'd find these photos. It's okay, Harrison shrugs. No, if someone showed me pictures of Mark, I would be horrified. Harrison doesn't answer. But you knew, right? You said you've seen them before. Yes, he did. You don't look very happy. That's life, Polly. That was before I met her. It's not awkward. I watch his face, how his eyes switch from me to his wife's back. I nod in their direction. It's awkward. I didn't like Mark seeing practically naked pictures of your wife, I have to admit. It must be hard knowing those pictures are out there somewhere and will probably be out there forever. It is what it is. I know she did some filming back then. I didn't know it would be available to anyone. We walk in silence for a few moments. I touch his hand and he turns to me. What's happened? He asks. I just heard stories about young women, about models. Which? Well, about how they get hired as waitresses at parties, how they are told what clothes to wear, or what not to wear. I think you discussed all this with her. A shadow passes over Harrison's face, and I feel a little nervous. If you want to talk, I whisper. He looks at me for a few moments, then nods. Fine. Ahead, our partners are chatting enthusiastically, warmed by wine and good food. Behind us, we walk in silence, and Harrison frowns. I notice how he watches his wife, his eyes following her movements as she leans in to share a laugh with Mark. We arrived at their house. Mark shakes Harrison's hand and kisses Erica goodbye. I do the same, pecking Erica on the cheek, then turn to Harrison. Thank you for a pleasant evening, I told him. It was nice talking. I lean over, kissing his cheek too, pulling away with a slight smile. They head down the path to their door, Erica turning to wave at us, Harrison tense next to her. They go inside. I allow myself a small smile, then turn to my husband, take his arm and rest my head on his shoulder. It's awkward, I whisper as we walk down the street towards our house. What? Photo. Harrison was uncomfortable. I guess. But you liked it. I saw the way you looked at them. She was hot, huh? I guess, Mark repeats. Come on, admit it. Or do you want me to show them to you again so you can get a better look? Mark squeezes my hand. You are enough for me, Polly. He kisses me quickly. Let's go home. We walk together in the dark, plunging into friendly silence. I know what will happen next. We'll come home, pay the nanny, and go upstairs. Let's check on the girls, then undress and get ready for bed. I'll give him that little look, and since we've had a few glasses of wine, he'll smile back at me and ask if I'm sleepy. I'll think about his question and ask what else he meant. We'll make love. I must admit that finding the photo was not easy. The latter, posting them online under a fake account, and then creating an occasion to discuss them, was easy. Of course, Erica told me about her days in the modeling business. It only took 3 glasses of wine. She was just eager to get it out there, as sometimes happens when people have a juicy little secret they want to share. She made everything so easy. In fact, going to the library, searching the magazine archive, and looking through back issues of the fashion magazine she told me about took most of the day, but I think I managed to get a good scan. The next day, I stopped by Erica's for coffee, knocking on her door right after dropping the kids off at school. We do this often, and here I am again following her down her beautiful hallway into her gorgeous kitchen. I pass by a wedding photo and sneak a look at it. Erica is younger, but her figure has hardly changed, even after children. But I look at Harrison in his tuxedo with a neatly shaved face, his big arms hugging her. Erica's kitchen is gorgeous and still smells like fresh paint. Harrison did a good job, I note. Erica looks up from the coffee machine and nods. Yes, he has good hands. Good hands, I grin, and Erica laughs. And a good eye, she adds. My fingers slide along the white marble surface of the island. I can't stop the thoughts that come into my head. Stone countertop. A little cold, isn't it? I notice. In what sense? The coffee machine hisses. You know, sit on it, lay on it. I have no idea what you're talking about. Don't pretend. This is a new kitchen. Don't you think it needs some consecration? Erica gives me a half smile and tends to the coffee cups. She brings me mine, placing it on the countertop. Your mind is dirty, Erica tells me. So what? Erica breaks out into a small smile. Yeah, a little cold, she laughs. I pick up my coffee and take a sip. This is delicate work. Could he make me one? I ask. We're planning a kitchen remodel too. I love the way he did yours. I can ask Polly, but he may not have time to do it anytime soon. Why? He's got a big job to do the other day. They want to tear down the back of the house and add a few more meters, a place on the coast. He'll have to be there for a couple of weeks while they pour the foundation and install the frame. Good money, really. Then after this, yes, of course I'll ask. He has to finish our bedroom too, but there's a lot of work right now. Builders' houses, I answer. Yes, builders' homes are never finished, she agrees. What are you planning to do? This is an innocent question, and I know Erica very well. She never misses an opportunity to talk about it. Come on, I'll show you, she tells me with a smile. We take coffee with us as we move through her beautiful home to the master bedroom. Everything is on one level, on a wide, flat area that Harrison bought it out through a friend in the business. He built everything himself. I've been in the master bedroom before. We're thinking about expanding a little to give us room to enlarge the bathroom and add a walk-in closet, says Erica, waving a coffee cup as she describes the plans. I lean against her dressing table and her necklaces clink on their stands. I don't really listen to her while she, with her eyes wide open, talks about how much more space there will be, how beautiful it will be. Instead, I think about what she's already told me, and a plan begins to form in my head. It will be complex and difficult, but as they say, he who does not risk does not win. Erica finishes her tour, and I nod approvingly. She leaves the bedroom, and I follow her, changing the topic of conversation to something else. Behind her, on her dressing table, one of her earrings is now missing. Harrison arrives at 9. It's a weekday, so my husband Mark is already at work. I let him in and led him to the kitchen. He looks so good in those jeans. Thanks for stopping by. Erica says you'll be heading to the coast soon, I say. Yes, you have to drive an hour after that, but at least it's outside rush hour. Sounds like a lot of work. Yes, they want literally everything. We all want everything. It all depends on what we can get. Coffee? Harrison looks around the kitchen with an experienced eye, then looks at me. No, thank you. I want to settle everything and get in the car, if that's okay. Of course. So what do you think? What were you planning? Erica showed me your island table. I think she'd like one here. I stand in the middle of the room and smile at him. He smiles back, and I feel an inner thrill. I would love a smooth stone surface like this here. I wish I could lie on it in just my stockings, like on a banquet platter for Harrison. Let me see, Harrison says, pulling a tape measure from his back pocket. I'm thinking about a stone countertop like the other surfaces. Can you do that? I can do anything, Polly, he replies, giving me a smile. I have no doubt, I venture. He measures the kitchen. I measured it. There's something about him that I like those rugged features. He's not taller than Mark, he certainly doesn't make as much money, and he's definitely not as smart, but maybe that's part of the appeal. Harrison left school at 16 and got a job with his big, strong hands. Mark is complex and witty, sophisticated in many ways, and thoughtful. Harrison is good for heavy work. He doesn't think much, he's here to get things done. I keep an eye on him, answering his little questions about where the appliances will be, what fittings I would like. Do you need to clear this with Mark? He asks. No, I'm completely in control, I reply. Yeah, that's how it should be, he laughs. What Polly wants, Polly gets, right? Exactly. How does Erica feel about you going away for 2 weeks? I ask. She doesn't really like it. I can imagine. Harrison sits up and frowns at me. I mean, I answer quickly, You do a lot for her, sometimes picking up the kids from school. She'll miss that. Yes. She'll have to cope on her own for 2 weeks. Erica's show is on alone. I smile to show that this is a light, cheerful conversation between old friends. Actually, this is not true. My heartbeat quickens slightly, and I feel a blush that I need to get under control. But she has you, Polly. Yes. I smile at him, but it's a forced smile. I see his eyes change. He takes the hint. Just yes. I nod. Harrison rolls up his tape measure and puts the phone back in his pocket. He finished with the measurements. Now his attention is focused on me. He frowned. What, Polly? My smile fades and I avoid his gaze. Polly? Well, you know, I cover for her sometimes. Are you covering? Yes, sort of, in some cases. It's not hard for me to do it, pick up all the kids from school. She usually comes in an hour, and you know how much they all love to play in the park. It's not a problem. How often does she ask you? I shrug, looking back down at my hands, and then add, maybe once a week. Is she telling you? No. Well, I asked once, and she said she was stuck in traffic. I don't know where she was coming from, though. Harrison is silent. I can almost hear the gears turning in his head. I laid it out pretty thick, but Harrison isn't very good at subtleties and hints. Is there something you want to tell me? He asks. I lift my chin and meet his gaze. I see it in his expression, and my heart pounds wildly in my chest at the audacity of what I'm about to say. It's reckless. If it helps, I've never seen any evidence that she cheated on you, I tell him. His eyes flash. It's probably innocent, I continue. The muscles in his jaw tense, and he replies hoarsely, that's good. Yes, I know sometimes these things come out, and then it turns out that everyone knew about it and no one told you. But that's not the case. We don't gossip behind your back. I hope not. I put my hand on his arm. I feel the roughness of his skin. I'm serious. If I knew anything, I would tell you. You're a good person, Harrison. You deserve the truth. Thanks, Polly. Yeah, it means a lot to me. I squeeze his hand lightly in support and smile. But you're worried, right? I ask. Harrison pulls back, running his hand over the tabletop, studying it carefully, suddenly focused. No, he croaks. Well, yes, maybe. I understand. She's so beautiful. It's terrible to have to constantly look over your shoulder. Harrison doesn't answer, his attention focused on the smooth surface. I know how it is, I say quietly. Harrison looks up at me in surprise. Really? How do you know, Polly? What's going on? I shrug, looking down at my hands again, avoiding his gaze. I shake my head slowly without answering. He straightens up and comes towards me, hesitates, and then I feel his big hands on my shoulders. What's happened? He asks hoarsely. I count to 5 and then look up at his face, blinking as if I'm trying to hold back tears. I don't know, I mutter. I just know that sometimes he's hard to reach. I call and he doesn't answer. There's something else, but it's just stupid. Tell me. It's like I put 2 and 2 together and get 16. I look at him and bite my lip. I see his face filled with concern. He started coming home late on Wednesdays, I admit. Harrison frowns, and I can almost hear the thoughts swirling around in his head. Wednesday is Erica's netball day, isn't it? I whisper. Harrison just nods. I hold my breath, looking at him with wide eyes. My lip starts to tremble. A storm rages inside me, and I decide to do so, taking a step forward, pressing my face to his chest. I wait, counting my heartbeats. When his arms hug me back, I feel weak with excitement, and suddenly I start crying for real. I'm standing huggable, the husband of my best friend, in the kitchen of my cozy home. My tears are absorbed into his t-shirt. I feel myself in his strong, reliable hands. What should I do? I sob. I hear him sigh deeply and heavily. I don't know, Polly. I don't know. I smell him, feel his heartbeat next to my face. He believed the story, I can feel it, and deep inside I feel pleasure and smile quietly to myself. With great effort, I finally managed to break free from his grasp, but I need to plant the seeds and figure out the next steps. Harrison must accept the plan. This is all stupid, I gasp, but I just have this feeling. I don't know if it's real or just my imagination. Can you do something for me? His eyes are dark and intense. His face is made of stone. Sure, what? Don't tell her anything. I won't tell Mark anything either. If I tell him my thoughts, he. I blink, trying to hold back my tears. Harrison holds my cheek carefully, worried. Everything is going better than I could have dreamed. It's just. There's no evidence, I stutter. If I say anything now, he'll say I'm stupid. I look at Harrison. I'm not stupid, right? No, Polly, you're not stupid. Then will you do it? Yes. We need to find out for sure. Yes. I feel dizzy, it's such a rush. I hug him again, and he automatically hugs me back. This time, I don't pull away. There's no need anymore, the hardest part is over. Annalise is nervous. She's always been like this, though. Honestly, it got worse after the divorce, but she was always a little sensitive. Maybe that's why he left her. Val is a real volcano, and as I watch her flutter around the place with Annalisa in tow, it's obvious which one is the alpha female. We are preparing for the annual school quiz in the large room on the second floor of the local bar. This is the main fundraising event for the TA, and therefore Val's raison d'etre. She keeps everything under tight control. She's aiming to break the fundraising record this year because the new parents will take over next year, and she wants her fundraising achievements to remain a benchmark for everyone to follow. It's petty, but this is her world. Most of us used to have high-paying jobs with responsibilities and easily keep pace with our husbands' careers until the X and Y chromosome lottery put an end to that. Now we are super moms, running the house, raising children, funding new school sports equipment, keeping ourselves in shape. It's all so profoundly stupid how we have our little fights over who's boss, like we're back on the school playground. Val thinks she's the alpha, but she has no idea, really, because I'm the alpha. There are two types of people in the world, I have discovered. Type A people always have a plan, type B people go with the flow. I'm type A. I'm in control, and when it comes to getting what I want, I'm usually successful. I planned to get a good, loving husband with a reliable source of income, and I got it in the person of Mark, choosing among male colleagues until she set her sights on him. It was fun to hunt him, to make him yours, but in truth, it wasn't hard. I got a job in February, and by the middle of the year, at a corporate party, he was already lying on a hotel bed, practically begging me to make our relationship permanent. The secret of my success, the secret of it all, is to find what the other side wants. There's always a button to push, and in Mark's case, it was flirting. He liked it when something flashed in front of him, and then it was taken away, or rather, he gradually began to like it. It also gave me a lot of control to decide whether he would get what he needed or not. More precisely, I could decide when and if I would respond to his advances. That's the thing with Mark. He is reliable, very reliable. I usually tell people he's good with numbers. If he engages in conversation, I add a sly smile, hunting but not going overboard, and Mark puffs out his chest proudly as I follow up by clarifying that he's also good at math. This raises his self-esteem a little. The reality is different. He's good at math, but what he does in bed is more of a pattern. At the beginning of our marriage, I tried to add a little spice, introduce something new, but it never caught on. I realized two things. Mark will never change, and I need something more. I need a plan. Analyze another type of person. She never has a plan. Her husband left her a couple of years ago, leaving her with a daughter the same age as my youngest, and a son who is now going through a terrible 2 years. She gave birth to him in an attempt to save her marriage. Horribly, one evening, after drinking almost a bottle of wine alone, she burst into tears and confessed it to me, sobbing on my sofa while I played the role of a devoted friend and handed her napkins. She is a clear example of what happens if you don't pull yourself together. Annalise is a couple of years younger than us. Her daughter is lovely, just like her mother. Annalise is slender, pleasant, pretty, but the smile that once lit up her face is now a rarity because she has to raise 2 children alone. She is the epitome of the difference between tactics and strategy. Her tactic was to bring love back into the relationship by having a second child, whereas the strategy should have been to stay with one child and look after something better. Instead of hooking up with some single dad at school and moving up, she's now unavailable for dating, saddled with a toddler and no time for herself. Have you ever heard the old saying that you don't quit a job until you find a better one? Analyze is a vivid example of what happens if you don't follow this advice. After an hour spent in the hall, we drink our morning coffee, but there are only 3 of us: Erica, Analyze, and me. Val went to pick up the tables from the rental company. Analyze takes the bag, apologizing. She signed up for a gym class, trying to fit it into a little break in her day, leaving her son with her mother to keep herself in shape in case she ever had enough time to hang out with a man, let alone to meet him. Erica looks after her. She'll drive herself into a hole, she observes. Metaphorically, I clarify. At this rate, maybe even straight away. Poor woman. Yes, I focus my attention back on Eric. She's sitting over her half-drunk cup of coffee, her long blonde hair pulled back into a clip. But now that we're alone, she's thoughtful. Well, what's new with you, since we've been discussing the world for half an hour? Analyze? Nothing special. I study her face for a while and then answer. But still there is something. What's the matter? Suddenly, Erica sighs heavily, leaning back in her chair, her finger nervously drumming on the rim of her cup. I remain silent, giving her time to collect her thoughts. I don't know, she finally mutters. Job, house. Erica works shifts in one of the boutiques on the main street, elegant in fashionable dresses, selling elegant fashionable dresses. It's hard for me to imagine that there is a high load there. House, I carefully clarify, but Erica remains silent. I feel that tense excitement again. Bedroom, I ask. Slowly, Erica nods, and I try to keep my expression serious, sympathetic. I want to hear her problems. Yeah, she admits. It's like, I don't know, it's just, I can't explain it. Are you feeling a little out of place? No, it's not about me. Here's the rub, I'm fine, but there's something wrong with him. Something is wrong, and I just don't know what it is. Did you talk about this? Erica shakes her head and then continues, I kind of tried, but it was like talking to a wall. He just shrugged it off. Maybe he has his own problems. Which? I know he's having problems with his client. She crawls around the construction site on all fours looking for defects. But this is not new, and it has never affected our bed before. I lean over and take her hand. She looks up and our eyes meet. For a moment, I imagine what it would be like for Harrison to look into those blue eyes, how they could melt anyone they looked at. This is the one factor that I cannot control. I've been through this before, I admit, lowering my voice. I had to figure it out myself. This comment piques Erica's interest. How? She asks. The point is that we need to get them to switch to other things, distract them from this. I'm in the same situation now with Mark, if you can believe it. Erica winces, but I see that she is interested in my idea. Oh, honey, I'm sorry. No, it's okay. Actually, that's a good thing. Do you want to know? Yes. I realized that if the bedroom gets cold, sometimes in order to warm it up again, you have to freeze everything first. Erica frowns, puzzled by my words. But she doesn't take her hand away from mine. I continue with the explanation. It's simple, dear. No need to push. Just take sex off the agenda. Psychology of men. Suddenly, he has something more important to focus on than work, or at least more important to you. Erica looks at me, then suddenly laughs. So you're saying that the cure for lack of sex is a sex diet? Yes. If he doesn't give you what you need, keep him hungry until he does. Erica pulls her hand out of mine. She takes her cup of coffee and finishes it, her beautiful blue eyes sparkling as she looks at me over the rim of the cup. When she places it on the table, she smiles. I got you, honey, I tell her. Stick to my plan, and I'll help you figure it out. It's either madness or genius, Erica replies. This is genius. Trust me, follow the plan and everything will work like magic. How long? It depends. How long did you last with Mark? I shrug as if this is an insignificant detail, then quietly add, we need to wait at least a few weeks. How long are you going to keep it this time? Have you decided yet? I see the seed I have sown growing right before my eyes, and I feel a pleasant warmth inside. I smile at her. He'll get the full 4 weeks, I tell her. I finish my coffee and we leave, Erica going one way and me going the other. She smiles as if she has a plan. I also leave her with a smile. Erica does have a plan, but it's not her plan. It's my plan. Mark returns home with flowers. I don't have the slightest idea why. You know when my birthday is, right? I ask, meeting him at the front door. Yes, he replies, leaning in for a quick kiss as I accept the bouquet as if I had just performed an aria. Beautiful, I mutter, holding the flowers up to my face for a moment to inhale their scent, and he smiles. Mark believes he did everything right. Flowers now, the children are put to bed, and then we're off to bed. I know this plan, I've been here before. We go through the usual routine. Dinner, children, cleaning. He is still in a shirt and trousers. I am in jeans because there is no point in dressing up. After all, I have nowhere in particular to go. Flowers stand in a vase, subtly filling the air with aroma. I opened a bottle of red wine. Want? I ask. My pleasure, Paul. I pour us a glass and pass one glass to my husband. He gives me a small, genuine smile. I know that smile. This is his way of showing me how much he cares about me, and I reciprocate. Mark is a good person, a faithful husband, and an excellent father, and he's in good shape. There is no reason to look for someone else to satisfy this desire. He takes a sip and then comes closer to me. You're beautiful, he mutters. I want you, Paul. Shall we go upstairs? What about the children? They should be fast asleep by now. He kisses me again. He gave me flowers, cleaned up after dinner, and put the children to bed. It's amazing what a husband can do if he's motivated enough. Okay, I say quietly, and he smiles. Mark got what he was looking for, or at least he will soon. He leads me upstairs to the bedroom, holding hands. We made love. I love you, Polly, Mark whispers. I love you too, honey, I lied. Are you ready? Mark is getting nervous. I can feel it. We need to be at the quiz in half an hour. Almost, I answered through the door. Do you want to pack the kids in the car? Have they packed their overnight bags? Yes, they are sitting downstairs and waiting. I let a few strands out of my elaborate French braid, letting them frame my face. With my smoky eye and rich, maroon lipstick, I'm finally happy with my look. One more thing, I called. Who's driving today? It's up to you, comes his reply through the door. I turn away from the mirror and walk barefoot across the tiled floor. There's a lot at stake today. I have a plan, but I will also need luck. If everything goes my way, it will be worth it. I open the door and go out into the bedroom wearing only my underwear. Mark turns as I enter and freezes, looking at me. I was hoping that you would voluntarily volunteer, I purr. Without waiting for an answer, I go to the wardrobe and take out my favorite black stilettos. It means I'll be in pain all night. They're so high, but when I put them on, I imagine how they highlight and shape my calves, turning them into slender, firm curves under thin stockings. I take the black wrap dress off the hanger and tie it around myself. I feel my husband's gaze on me. When I think he's seen enough, I turn around. He's just standing there with a tie in his hand. I walk over slowly, swinging my hips in my high heels, and take the tie from his fingers and wrap it around his neck. I tie a knot, holding it neatly in place, then smooth the front of his shirt with my hands. So how? I ask. Like what? He mutters. Are you going to volunteer? Don't drink today. Be a responsible parent. This has its advantages. Cold. I stand on my tiptoes and reward him with a light kiss. Put on your shoes. You are delaying us. I head for the door without looking back. knowing he's watching my hips sway as I walk out of the bedroom. It was a good kiss. I go downstairs to get the kids into the car. They're spending the night at Erica and Harrison's, so we can share a babysitter since the quiz basically lost us all the local babysitters. We don't have to dress up, but we do it anyway. Many of us love this opportunity as if we were back in that pre-kids phase when we went to balls or corporate cocktails. Nowadays, there are few such opportunities. I feel the tightness of the underwear against my skin, hidden from prying eyes by my dress. I don't have to wear this kind of underwear, but I do. Tonight requires a little luck, and I have to be prepared for anything. I sit the children down in the car, and Mark leaves the house. I give him a smile. The room is full of people, which makes Val happy. I see that she is in her element. There are 20 tables, parents stand in groups, chatting and drinking. Mark is on the other side of the room with Harrison and several other dads. I watch their conversation, trying to read their body language. Is Harrison acting distant? You need to be careful. Val has a seating plan, or at least she accepted my casual suggestion to separate the couples. This will be better for new parents, otherwise we will all just split into our own little groups. I glance at Val. Are you ready? I ask. Yes. Do you think we can start? Yes. Do you have a microphone? Well, prowls around the table with prizes. She finds a microphone. Okay, I'll go sit down, I tell her and head towards Mark. He notices me and nods. The small group opens to let me in. We are ready to start. Have you figured out the commands? I ask my husband. Yes, we are at this table and... Yeah, I see. Mark frowns. Val really wants us not to sit all together. How about this? You sit at Annalise's table and I'll sit at this one. I turn to Harrison, who is sipping his beer. Quizzes are definitely not his thing. Harrison, where do you want to sit? With Mark or with me? I don't know. I don't care, he replies. But I don't care where Harrison spends the evening. Erica comes up with papers and pens, handing them out to the tables. Honey, why don't you sit down with Polly? I'll sit with Mark, she says. Harrison looks a little uncomfortable, but then agrees and takes his seat. I move closer to my husband. Are you happy with this arrangement, dear? I think it will be more honest, I tell him quietly. Are you against me? Seriously. Well, are you ready for the competition? May the best man win, he smiles in response. I'll go get some drinks. I leave them to their seats and head towards the bar. I know everyone drinks. I ordered a couple of beers for Mark and Harrison. This will be my husband's last since he's driving. I ordered a mojito for Erica and a mocktail for myself. Then I ordered a shot of tequila. Mark is absolutely right. Let the best man win. After what he saw under my dress and the way I swayed my hips, he thinks it's going to be him, but it's not. I pour a shot of tequila into Erica's mojito as Val addresses the crowd. We are in third place after 2 rounds. We should be higher, but I gave some wrong answers. It's amazing how easily some people give in and begin to doubt themselves if they give an answer with enough confidence. Harrison does this all evening, getting quieter, watching his wife and my husband laugh together at the next table, winning while we fall behind. I continued to order drinks because that was the deal for today. Erica pays for the babysitter and I cover the cost of alcohol. I continue to order a mojito while I myself drink some kind of sugary soft drink made from lemonade and fruit juice, pretending to be the same, succumbing like her. Harrison is not far behind. He already has a small collection of beer bottles. Val reads out another wrong answer, and the whole table sighs. Another exact answer of mine turned out to be incorrect. I sip my cocktail, shrugging apologetically. Harrison leans towards me. Are you okay, Paul? Yes, but what? You're kind of quiet. I suck at quizzes. Well, read out another answer. You can hear cheers from the next table. Erica and Mark high-five each other. Damn, I hissed. Harrison is watching them too. Seriously, Paul, what happened? I look at him and then say, forget it. Let's just take this damn quiz. We need victories. Polly, how are you? Erica calls, leaning towards our table. Not as good as you, I snapped back. Next round, Polly. Sport. She winks at Harrison as if to suggest that he might be good at sports matters. Well starts the next round, and it turns out that Harrison is really good at sports matters. We gather together, discussing options, making a common decision. I defer to him, helping him make his choice, and when the round ends and Val reads out the answers, we have a perfect result. Harrison smiles for the first time all evening, and I move closer to him. "See, you did it all," I whisper. "You're just a machine." "Maybe. Thanks for your help." "What help? You already knew everything. You just needed someone to support you." "Thank you, Paul." I smile at him, and he smiles back. I reach out, and I pat his hand. He doesn't pull it away. At the next table, Erica became quiet. She's quite drunk, staring blankly at the question paper. Mark carefully watches her, although he continues to talk with Analyze. None of them look at us. I squeeze Harrison's hand, and it gives me pleasure. He finally perks up, buoyed by beer and victory, smiling at me. We're going to win the quiz, although he doesn't know it yet. I know because I've already looked at all the answers. I'm going to lead Harrison to a surprise, sensational victory while his wife dives into her mojitos. The end of the fourth round approaches, and I return with another round of drinks. I put the beer in front of Harrison and the lime and lemonade in front of my husband. Erica switched to wine, so I bought her a large glass. I have some kind of pink and peach mixture in my glass. I put it in its place. "How do you like these cocktails, Paul?" Harrison asks. "You've been drinking them all evening." "Not like your wife," I answered him, "though I should probably just sit." I stagger a little, and Harrison is there instantly. He wraps one arm around my elbow and wraps the other around my waist, carefully placing me in a chair. "I think I'm a little unwell," I admit. I'm not lying. If I have to take another sip of cranberry juice, I'll probably spit it out. "Yeah, maybe you've had enough." I look at him through narrowed eyes, seeing that he is worried. Behind him, Mark is talking to Erica. She's already at her limit. I'm surprised how she's still standing after everything I poured on her today. Their team has lost ground, and somewhere in Erica's head, this is painful. The husband is doing everything he can, but she is already too far gone. We need to act. Slightly slurring my tongue, I address Harrison. "Listen, I need to talk to Mark for a minute." I stand up and head over to the table where Mark is sitting, facing away from Harrison. I'm leaning over, gently bending at the waist, keeping your legs straight. I know how it flatters my figure. I want Harrison's eyes to remain on the curve of my buttocks in a wrap dress. I lean on my husband's shoulder. "Listen, I think Erica has had enough," I whisper in his ear. "Yes, she drank a lot today," he agrees. "I thought maybe I should stop this." "What are you talking about?" I laugh quietly. "I think your quiz is over, dear. Maybe it's time to show chivalry, to act nobly. Will you win in the meantime? You want this set of wines, right? Your wife is about to bring home a well-deserved prize." Mark hesitates, and I shift my position slightly, allowing the dress to open a little in the front. He looks inside. He can't help himself. He knows what his wife is wearing under her dress. The victory of the wife is the victory of the husband. Do you know what I mean? Help me, and I will help you when I get home. And how are you going to help me, Paul? I move closer to his ear and whisper, "In bed, baby." I stand up, moving away from him. I know what I look like in my tight black dress, standing in front of him. I don't look away. Mark nods, and I give him my most charming smile before returning to my desk and sitting next to Harrison again. A few minutes later, Mark approaches us with an unsteady Erica. "Honey, I'll go," she moans, sighing theatrically. "Mark will give me a ride." "Is she okay?" It's Analyze, coming up from behind. This was not part of the plan. Fortunately, Mark had already taken matters into his own hands. "She needs to lie down. I'll give her a ride. I'm driving." Harrison nods. "Okay," he agrees gloomily, his expression hidden, then adds, "I'll take my coat." My pulse jumps. No, it shouldn't be like that. I quickly stand up and give my husband a meaningful look. I'll go too, I intervened. We can't just let them go together. I wrinkle my nose and the corners of my lips turn down. Do you really think something will happen? Harrison asks quietly. What do you think? You saw them yourself all evening. You were here too. You saw how they behaved. I frown, blinking as if trying to hold back tears. Right in front of everyone, Harrison. Right in front of us. Well, read the next question, but I don't pay attention to her. My entire concentration is on the man next to me. He has kind eyes, and I see concern in them. He's not particularly skilled at stealth, but I laid it all out for him. Now I need to do the last one. How do you know, Paul? He asks. I reach for my purse and squeeze the object lying there with my fingers. I bring my clenched fist to his face. This is it, I whisper. I found this on the carpet in our bedroom. I open my hand to show Erica's earring, which I took from her dressing table. Harrison's eyes widened. The room is noisy, but now it's just the two of us, Harrison and I, sitting in our little bubble, staring at the tiny piece of jewelry that changes everything. What should we do, Paul? He asks. I close my eyes and squeezing out a tear to let it roll down my cheek. He operates on autopilot, taking his cue from me. I don't react, joining in the celebration of our victory, but then I pull him aside and whisper that I need to leave. Harrison takes me by the elbow and leads me down the stairs, through the main entrance and out into the street. We walk down the main street in silence. His head is down. Sorry, I say. For what? You're not that cheating, lying bitch, Harrison croaked. I can hear the emotion in his voice, and I want to scream and scream. There is a small park across the road. Everything is falling into place. We cross the street, and running into the fence of the park, I stop. I can't, I gasp. What's happened? I can't just go in there. Damn. I need to collect my thoughts. Have you seen them? They were so damn frank, they could have walked out holding hands. Polly, calm down. Everything is fine. That's not true, I say sharply. That's damn not true. Hell, I can. Just get me off this damn street. I turn into the darkness of the park, leaving the street lights behind. Harrison hurries after me. The pulse beats in my neck, increasing the wild rush of adrenaline. Hiding from the road behind some small trees, I stop. Paul, wait, where are you? I walk deeper into the shadows and Harrison follows me. I turn around, my anger rising. You don't know, I hissed. You haven't worn that earring for a week. You haven't lived with what it means. This is all new to you. Yes, I know, but I wanted to rip his cheating head off, I interrupted. But it doesn't work that way. I had to think everything through. And you? Have you thought about what this means? You? Harrison is horrified. Even in the dark, I can read his expression. My whole body is tingling. I had a plan for today. I was going to show him. I was going to make him choose. What? What plan? This plan. That's what I promised him. I tug on the bow at my hip, and my wrap dress flies open. I throw it off, letting it fall onto the grass. I'm standing in the park at night in front of my best friend's husband in my most visible underwear. The hairs on my neck stand on end. I was going to give this to him. Look what I did for him, and he still went home with her. Your wife is now in my bed with my husband. You don't know, you're just guessing. I'm not guessing. I know. The nanny should have written to me when she left your house. Nothing. They are not there. Am I not good enough? I wheeze. Look at me. I thought I was good enough for him. What's wrong with me? I raise my face. He looks down at me. I feel so small. I just wanted to make him happy. Everything seems like a dream, and he kisses me. Will you let me make you happy? I whisper. We had sex. It's not wrong, I tell him. What they did was wrong. I just don't know. Harrison, look at me. Just listen. I don't want to be a victim. I don't want pity, and I don't tolerate weakness. Then what are you doing, Paul? I'm getting even. I live on my terms. Is that what it was, role-playing? I keep his hands in the shadows. All I can see is his eyes, shining in the dark. No, that's not true. This is you proving that you are a good person. You showed it to me. You have no idea how much it meant to me to feel like you wanted me. For the first time in a long time, I felt wanted. I have to stop there. The words are stuck in my throat. This is the first thing I said tonight that was completely and honestly true. What should we do now? Harrison asks. We need to think. Let me sort this out, please, I beg. Harrison looks at me darkly, but eventually relents. Thank you. Let's just sleep with this thought. I need to sober up and collect my head. I need to come up with a plan. Okay, Paul. I kissed him again. He nods at me, and I can see that he trusts me. I'm completely sober, and I already have a plan. It works better than I could have dreamed. When I come home, Mark is waiting for me. He's surprised when I walk through the door, and I remember I had to call him to come pick me up. Hey, you didn't call, he says. No, I just took a taxi. Harrison dropped me off and drove home, I reply. My husband comes up to me and hugs me, kissing me. I know what's on his mind because I know what I'm wearing under that wrap dress. Mark wants to come upstairs, put me in our bed, and make love to me. I've been teasing him with this promise all evening, but I can't let him do it now. I can't risk him finding out. How's Erica? Did you bring her home? I ask, diverting attention. Yes, she was very drunk. I haven't seen her like this for a long time. Do you think he and Harrison are okay? Yes, why not? Don't know. She just seemed a little weird and was very drunk. She was completely insane. I had to deal with the nanny. Did you put her to bed? I smile when I say it, but he understands the implication. How was she when you undressed her? I continue. Paul, I didn't. I just brought her home and paid the babysitter. I would never. I kiss him, cutting off his excuses. I know, honey. You're all mine, aren't you? Yes, Paul. I'm all yours. You are mine. Certainly. I kissed him again. Ready for bed? Asks Mark. I give him a sly smile, tilting my head to the side. She could refuse him, citing a headache, but why not? Yes, but I need to go to the toilet. Give me a couple of minutes. Sometimes life works out as it should. Harrison disappeared for a couple of days, but then showed up again. We spoke quickly on the phone, and I made sure he was still on my side. He didn't say anything to Erica about us having sex. Equally, he did not accuse Erica of cheating. It was a relief because it was the only factor I couldn't control. If Harrison had accused Erica of sleeping with my husband, my carefully crafted story might have quickly fallen apart. There's something rare and subtle about living on the edge, relying on people to lie to each other. As far as I can tell, Harrison didn't ask and Erica didn't deny, and all the while the idea that my husband and his wife were having an affair flourished. It was just perfect. But I had a backup plan in case Harrison needed another reminder. I have a pregnancy test at home on which I drew a cross. It's an old trick, but it works. Over coffee a few days after it all happened, Erica told me that Harrison was going to the coast to supervise construction at the end of the week. She sounded different, as if this was not just his departure for work, but as if some kind of distance had appeared between them. This pleasantly surprised me. Erica will stay here as it's school term, and she needs to take the kids to school, while Harrison will be alone on the coast. When Mark enthusiastically accepted my offer to take our kids on a weekend camping trip as a daddy-daughter adventure, I felt like I had won the lottery. My family will be in tents somewhere far away, and Erica will stay at home, so Harrison will be alone, an hour away from us. As if by luck, I managed to catch him at school in the middle of the week. Harrison is wearing his usual jeans and t-shirt. The t-shirt is old. There's a hole in the waistband and a paint stain on the chest, but he looks good, his wild hair and 3-day stubble somehow matching perfectly. I approach him, making my way through the groups of mommies. Hi, I say. Polly, how are you? At all? No, specifically. How did it go after the quiz? Harrison shrugs, looking around to make sure no one is listening. Oh, as expected, after she emptied the bar, she immediately fell asleep on top of the bed, still in her dress. Are there any traces? What? You know what I mean. Listen, I couldn't tell. Maybe she just passed out. Or maybe she just went to bed after that. Of course, I didn't check, not after that. He falls silent, and I understand that we need to discuss this. Yes, after that, I mutter. I just wanted to say thank you. I felt as if I had been passed over. You were so kind. You were so damn hot, Polly. I would never have thought. You are a good person. You deserve better. You've been so good to me. I give him a quick smile, and he smiles back. It gives me confidence. Listen, I was thinking, we should probably spend some time figuring out what happened. Erica says you're leaving for the coast tomorrow. Yes, for 2 weeks. 1. Why? Mark is taking the girls camping. They'll leave after work on Friday. What are you talking about, Polly? I'm not asking, I'm offering. I leave it like that, watching his reaction. In the heat of the moment in the park at night is one thing. Agreeing to repeat soberly while waiting for our children at the school gates is something else entirely. I feel like I'm holding my breath. Okay, come. When? Friday night? Certainly. I'll give you the address. I can't believe it was so easy. It seems like he crossed some kind of line. I can't believe I'm going to go to the coast on Friday night and have sex with Harrison. I'm already planning what I'll wear. Here they come, Harrison remarks, turning toward the gate. I turn around too, but my thoughts are far from here. Spend the night with him, wake up with him, as if we were really together. I can't wait. The drive along the coastal road starts slowly, weaving through traffic jams. I could have left an hour later and avoided all this, but the thought of a delay of even a minute is unthinkable. I'm in the car, wearing a cotton summer dress that's a little too short, but long enough to cover my new underwear. I'm going to pull the straps off my shoulders and unzip and show myself. I'm preparing for this moment with new underwear, with makeup. I got my nails done and visited the hairdresser. I want to take off this dress and become Harrison's fantasy. The funny thing is that Mark doesn't even cross my mind. Good old Mark, the father of my children, faithful husband, breadwinner. Reliable Mark, who you can always rely on. I feel like I'm someone else, released from prison for the weekend, able to roam freely. It's terrible what I do, but in a way it's fair. I should be able to live my life. Why did it stop just because I gave birth to his children and put his ring on my finger? If I have the chance to hug Harrison's naked body, why should I refuse it? My thoughts are racing through everything I'm going to do with him when I get there. I'm trembling in anticipation. Finding the address was not so easy. We had to turn onto a side street in one of the small coastal settlements. The house is nestled at the foot of a hill overlooking the ocean. This is one of those country houses that belong to families from the city. Now it is empty, occupied only by cement mixers and piles of lumber. I stop at dusk and get out of the car. I go to the front door and knock, but no one answers. I look out the window and see a living room where all the furniture is covered with plastic covers. I walk around the back of the house and realize that the back of the house is simply missing. I walk around the muddy hole and make my way through the fence. Harrison is nowhere to be seen. My phone makes a notification sound. This is Harrison. His message says I should find the guest bedroom and wait there. He's on an errand and will be back soon. He left something on the bed. Intrigued, I make my way through the construction site until the house begins to look more normal, dust and clutter giving way to a living area. The kitchen is untouched, and after walking down a small corridor, I find the bedroom. There is a small bag on the bed. There is a note attached to the bag. I picked it up and read it twice to make sure I got it right. Is it true? It is written by hand in large, sloppy, male handwriting. The message is straightforward and completely unexpected. He was thinking about me. In the park, what I did is not like his wife. Erica would never do this in the dark, in a public place. He feels that we are more alike than he realized, that he has secret desires that he would never reveal to his wife, but feels safe sharing them with me. He wonders if we should explore this together, keep it a secret from our partners. He's never met anyone like me. I was stunned. I looked at the note, then at the small bag in shock. Oh, Harrison, I'd love to be your fantasy. It's simply too tempting to pass up. The bag contains a blindfold and handcuffs. I pick them up and look at them. This is the last thing I expected to see from Harrison. I've never tried this, only because Mark was always too boring. He would run away in terror if I suggested something like that. I made a decision. I can do this for him. I can lie on the bed like this and wait for him. I will gladly become his fantasy if he becomes mine. Quid pro quo. I send a message asking where he is. The bedroom is clean and tidy. The only thing that stands out are two old light stands in each corner of the room, with a thick yellow extension cord running from them to the door. I tried the switch on the wall, but it didn't work. Electricity is out. It's not like the park where I gave him beer and then pushed him with words and actions. I didn't leave anything to chance. This time, everything will be different. It will truly be our first time. In just a few minutes, we are going to finally legitimize our romance on this bed. He will accept me as his mistress. Erica works in an office, as does Mark. Harrison works in construction, coming and going throughout the day. He can come to my house any time, and no one will know. It will be perfect. The phone is ringing. Harrison's 2 minutes from here. He wants me to be ready when he comes. I send him a smiley face and ask him to hurry up. I want him to know how much I'm waiting for him. I'm so excited, it's like I'm drunk. I hear footsteps and freeze, turning my head, trying to find him. Polly. We had sex. I hear footsteps, then a click. More footsteps approach, and a hand pulls off my blindfold. I'm blinded, looking straight into the light, and my eyes fill with tears. The figure blocks out the light, and I blink rapidly, trying to focus on the face of the man I just had sex with. I start to smile at him, but then my face freezes and my stomach churns as if I'm about to throw up. This is Mark. I think we'll leave the ring in place, Polly. This can be your little feature, your highlight, he says. What are you talking about? I whisper, overcome with horror. This is how they will know that you are a prostitute who is being sold, Mark explains calmly. Who? Mark what? What are you saying? Who? I ask, stuttering. Your fans. The ones who will pay to see you have sex. I gasp, staring at my husband. I look around the bedroom and begin to understand. The lighting stands, their location. Behind him, I see a tripod with a camera. A small black lens is pointed at my body. And finally, when I realize what he did, I look into his eyes and see anger in them. How, is all I can say, my mind reeling as the reality of my situation hits me. Harrison came home and ran into Erica right after you had sex with him like a prostitute in the park. She burst into tears, denying everything. And do you know what happened then? He asked. No, I whispered weakly. He believed her. Mark's expression is grim. There is a strange energy in his posture, as if he is teetering on the edge of action. I don't want to find out. I don't want to provoke him. I've never seen him like this. He fell to his knees and asked her forgiveness, and she forgave him, because that's what people do who love each other, Polly, who trust each other, when they can tell when their spouse is lying just by looking into their eyes. This energy seems to leave him, as if the storm has passed. Now he just looks tired. The children stay with Harrison and Erica. We never went camping. Harrison moved back to the coast while you were driving here. You probably even drove past him. They will look after the children for a few days until we figure it out. I look at him in confusion. His calm, sudden composure is much more terrifying than his anger. I have no idea what he has planned. What are you going to do? I ask. He shrugs, and then my loving husband, the father of my children, tells me his entire plan. I'll free you, and then I'll get in my car and drive back to the coast. You will have two options. Which? He shrugs again, pointing to the camera tripod and lighting stands. You can't be serious, I hissed, not believing him. Absolutely seriously. Harrison found a small apartment for you. You will be able to work on the internet, showing off your body, in between picking up your kids at school and dropping them off there. It's always midnight somewhere in the world, Polly. Fuck you. Like I said, Paul, the choice is yours. But I'm done. I don't support you anymore, and after this video, it will be difficult for you to find a decent job or win anything in court in a divorce, including custody. How could he? Not my children. How dare you? I shout at him. I don't. Oh, but you are, Paul, he growled, his icy calm evaporating, allowing me to see the hatred seething beneath him. This is enough to make me stop mid-sentence. I look at him, barely recognizing the man I married, only now realizing the extremes to which I drove him, and I feel an icy fear grip my stomach. My husband worshipped me every step. The man in front of me is someone else. Option 2, he hisses through clenched teeth. You come back tonight, and tomorrow we open your account. You should start making money on your own instead of living off me, and what better way than to use your talents? We'll make a star out of you, Polly. You'll show everyone what you really are. He straightens up, looking at me, his eyes burning. I was speechless. He intends to do this, force me to perform on camera in front of strangers, condemn me to a life of private shows under studio lights to make ends meet. Or I'll just leave, I mutter. Yes, anyway, we're done. Polly, marriage, everything. At least in the second option, you will be able to see the children when I decide that this is possible. I look at him, and real tears well up in my eyes. I don't want to lose my children. I don't want to leave the house we built together, the life we created together. I realize now, at the very end, that I don't want Mark to leave me. I want to tell him that I just missed him, that's all. I want him to understand that I still love him, no matter what. I make one last attempt. I clear my throat. You know me, Mark. After all these years together, you're just going to let this happen. Are you just going to leave me to the wolves? Only you can stop this. You have to stop this right now. I still love you, honey. You can't do this to us. He looks at me, his eyes studying my face, my tears, the underwear I'm wearing. I would give anything right now just to have him touch me. I see him hesitate and dare to smile. Is that a threat, Paul? He asks. No, it's not a threat, Mark. I'm begging you. He looks at me again, and I realize that my plea has been heard. We have too much in common for him to just give it all up. Our marriage is stronger than this. Then he moves, and I watch in horror as he shakes his head and takes out his wallet. He takes out the money and throws it on the bed. No, Polly, after all this time, this is goodbye. He looks at the small stack of bills. Thanks for the sex. Hopefully, this will cover the cost. Mark turns and leaves. I collapse onto the sheets, and my body shakes with sobs as I realize what I've done. I didn't even have time to tell him which option I chose. I realize that he doesn't care. Mark arrives at 5 with our girls, and I meet them at the front door. He smiles as he unloads their things from the car and carries them into the living room of my small apartment while my daughters tell me about their day. It's Friday night, and it's my turn to be with them for the weekend. Mark and I exchange a few words, more like business notes, discussing the organization of our children's lives. He mentions that he'll be at Chichero's in the square tonight, which gives us both an opportunity to avoid an awkward situation. I keep the door to my bedroom closed, even though I have already hidden all traces of what Mark forced me to do. It's been a few months now, and I'm getting used to the routine, setting up the camera and doing my shows. This is the only condition that he imposed on me in the end. I must continue performing, and everything I earn remains with me. If I work 5 days a week, that covers my rent and leaves some pocket money, but I also work at night if the girls aren't around. I need it, working for tips from strangers to make ends meet by doing whatever they want. I do this, and he does everything he can to make our divorce look like an amicable breakup in public. This is his only concession, one small mercy for the sake of our children. I rarely leave the house, and dating is out of the question with this job. Erica tolerated my presence the only time I tried to go out with the girls, but it was so awkward that I left early, returning to my small apartment. I sat in tears and watched reruns alone while Erica, Val, Annalise, and Cara were having fun at one of the new bars on the main street. They don't talk to me anymore. They're on Mark's side. I wonder how much Erica told them. They don't know what I do now, only Mark, Erica, and Harrison. Only they know what they brought me to. I already have several regular clients, but they hide behind fictitious names on the screen. Some of them want to tell me their life story, while others just want to see what I'm doing now. Looking back, I realize I didn't stand a chance. I fell into a trap set by Erica, of all people. She posted the video Mark took at the beach house as a teaser on my profile, making everything public and sealing my fate even before I had a chance to fully understand my situation. She deftly pulled me into the life of a prostitute on the internet without batting an eyelid. After I posted pictures of her in lingerie on the internet, Erica took revenge by turning me into a low-life adult star. I think the truth is that the female is always more dangerous than the male. I get the girls settled in and decide what we're going to do for dinner, even though I already know what they'll want, so I order pizza. I put them in the car to go pick up the order rather than have it delivered. There are several good options, but I choose a place in the square. I can't resist. They are all sitting at a table outside in the warmth of the early evening. Erica, wearing jeans and a blouse that is subdued, but still shows off her model looks, laughs with Harrison. Harrison looks good. I think this is a new shirt. The light blue color suits him. Mark pours wine and makes some comments. Next to him, Annalisa is talking animatedly, beautiful in her light summer dress, her hair tied back. Almost by accident, she touches my husband's hand. No, not my husband. Crap, my ex-husband. They're all laughing, having a good time, raising their glasses to celebrate something. I wonder what this is. It looks like they've won something, like it's some kind of celebration. I wonder what it is. I wonder if they understand, if they are aware of any of this. This happiness belongs to me, it is my merit. I've put them all together. Erica and Harrison are now closer than ever. Annalise has finally found a man who will love and appreciate her, and Mark, my Mark, is finally moving on with his life. From my hiding place, hiding between the tables, waiting for my pizza ordered to be ready, I see Annalise touching Mark's arm. He gives her a soft smile that breaks my heart. They should look back with a deep sense of gratitude for how things turned out in the end. They should all be standing in line to thank me for their damn happiness. But they won't. Subscribe to our channel so that your love doesn't cheat on you, and go ahead and listen to the next story, because this story is nothing compared to the next one. If you're under 18, don't even think. Click to the next one. Click to the next one. Click to the next one. Click to the next one.